Tiensi bw'ekyuka crimes zikyuka.
Buli mulembe gujalezaabu.
Yes. Crimes change. Kyobala mbagamba tinze sifunangako director wa ISO gwe nali ndispect nze nga Tumukunde. One of the few Ghanaians I respect is Tumukunde. I respect Tumukunde.
Oh, you munamaje ya umuro.
Yes. Has his weaknesses, but it does not affect his intelligence and integrity. Tumukunde mmanyi. Onakola omuntu Tumukunde yayita abantu ewuwe n'ababuuza ti omulema tasobola kufuuka pulezidenti, n'abatambuza mu faamu ye wano ng'emaddwawo emuduumu. Ete bwe yavaayo n'abuuza nti mbattire ku mbuzi tiye ne banoonya omwana asala embuzi n'abula n'akwata pisito pa gwe yatuma omwenge teyadda. Nebagamba omusajja legeranga nti gwe yogera nnyo ku Tumukunde, nebagamba nti temanyi Tumukunde oyo ebyo abikola oba buvubuka oba ki oba ki, naye is a frustrated man. Teriyo yadumirako force division eggulu n'atafuuka amekamanda okujjako Tumukunde. Naye Tumukunde nabeera naye okuva mu 2021 nga mu intelligence. Tumukunde namutunuulyanga bwati ng'anywa mazzi. Tumukunde mu ofiisi ye omulimu bokisi y'amazzi. Tumukunde yalemalanga bwejjane bwati n'ajja mu paaka mu terrorism. Era gy'obula nti bano abantu ba wano, oyo omusajja gwe bayita Jeno Mugisha ono akankana ono yali head wa terrorism. Bamutwala China okusoma nga machines ziri primitive nakuba navasi system ye yagenda nembata era nalwana nnyo nga Kajina amugyeko business emulokole. How can you, that man is surviving expensively? Nenga teyafuna buvuno obwo kuba yali agenze mu bwenzi we national interest. Batega bomu. Tumukunde bwe batega bomu yajja mu paaka nga tubeera naye mu takisi mu ofiisi ye ng'anywa mazzi. The day was arrested is when Tumukunde was arrested. Naye Tumukunde olw'okuba ayina amagezi mu mutwe teyalowooza nti nze mu betrains. Tumukunde's group bagiyoola yonna ne bagitwala mu gavumenti. The best intelligence officer Uganda has ever produced is Tumukunde. My intelligence bano babadde ne bagamba you cannot regionalize intelligence. When you go to Europe, abantu abakola mu intelligence babanoonya mu masomero, the best students gye babajja. President Museveni bwe yajja mu buyinza, gavumenti yebadde etambulira ku automation, has an overwhelming support of the population. As a result, yakwata regionalization n'atakebera ku merit. Teri nsi esobola kubeera mu crimes ng'omukazi akula akyaliwo, my daughter akulu. Never.
Oyogedde ku kya intelligence nalowooza nti bagamba ne Nobo Mayombo yali mulungi.
Ekyokubi Nobo Mayombo
bagamba yali mulungi
naye yali talina magezi ga Tumukunde. Nze Nobo Mayombo twali tumanyiganye. Nobo Mayombo waliwo mukwano gwange bamuyita ani nsoboka musomesa. Yansanga nga nva ku conference center esanga 12 n'ekitundu nangamba ovaawo nti nva wa Nobo Mayombo. Nze nasooka okubuulya Mayombo nti besi yagenda kwesimbawo. Mayombo nanga let me tell you Mr. Mirundi, there is nobody from the west who can take on Museveni. Let me tell you, Besigye and Njuba are frequenting parliament and they are talking to parliamentarians. Era n'ekitabo kyange kye nawandiika bakiyita The Making of Dr. Besigye. Kakando One New Vision, I mentioned it, was the first one telling me that Besigye is something. Kakando yali mu parliament ng'akola ki?
Ng'asaka mawulire. Naye
kati namuta maze emyaka nga 10 nga simulaba. Nze nkuleka n'obeerayo for your safety. Kubanga ate nze sagala mirimu gya gavumenti. Sidda mukolera gavumenti eno. And a former arrangement nti waggulu wali yanfuga. Kakati anti wulira ekyegamba. Kakati Mayombo namubuulira. Mayombo came to me again. Nanga mukwano gwe yamuyitanga mukwano gwange. Mukwano gwa manyi assignment gyampadde nti mukwano gwo ampadde okunoonyeza ni yatta Kijja na Ngoma. Naye all the evidence indicate nti omuyikirwa yamuse. Nangamba Mayombo nti omusajja yatta Kijja na Ngoma was an ADC of Mugisha Muntu when he was a commander. But he became a highway robber. Nangamba Mayombo ekyovola bambagamba totumanga muyala. Mbwanga oyagala okulya enva ewaka otumanga omwana atayagala kulya maluma. Yetakebera nti oba nnyama nnungi oba si nnungi. This man who killed Kijja na Ngoma was an ADC of Mugisha Muntu as a commander according to Mayombo, but the man deserted the army and became a highway robber. Kakati ono katulamu amutuma okutta Kijja na Ngoma. Naye nga ne function bamaze gikola ne sente azimusuubizizza. Bwe yatuuka kubanga berit balina ebifo bye babeeramu. Ono muvuka bw'atuuka e Fort Portal yagenda mu kifo berit mwe babeera abagagga be Fort Portal. N'asangamu ba Mirindi baganda bono gundi sikyamulaba omusajja omukulu oyo. So yagendanga ekyankwazira abafuma Kalushoke oba bamuyitaaniyo. He liked me. Yangamba oyina brain gwe. Kakati Polo teyalise. Naye olwokuba Katulamu yali ategese pati nga bw'amala omutta muwene sente, it did not dawn on this man nti bwotta omuntu kati banaagamba ani natta Kijja na Ngoma. Ba Mirindi baali bamulabye bano abavuka ab'e Makerere abaali basoma e Makerere ba Mirindi. Yabakuba amasasi Katulamu n'abatta. Era baakuba omuwala gwe baali naye ennyo to divert the attention of the population ti omuwala yeyabasiza.
Kese yalimu nnyo controversy ennene nnyo.
Yes.
Ya Kijja na Ngoma ne
yes. Naye nga Kijja na Ngoma is a kemi. Abaganda bakuga nti akamega enjovu keekanaki.
Kaba katono nnyo.
Enjovu akasiisi kagitta. Kasaka kagitta kula naye kuba omutwe ku mitwe ku gundi eyasa mutwe. Genda oguza abakonjo. Abakonjo babaagala okutta enjovu mu National Park. Bagibala enjovu we yayise wedda. Kati bakwata obuti obulimu emisumaali emiwanvu gino nyinki 6 ne bagitega enjovu weeyita. Kati enjovu weeti yaayo nyinki 6 egiyingira oba nyinki 10. Yebaka bwebasi kuba buli lwetambula nga bwolaba omwana ono atambula ng'endege zivuga. Kati ate yo bwetambula ewulira pain yebaka bwebasi we bagittira. Kakati I told you that when I work in the new Ugandan government, because I'm still young, I will work in intelligence. Museveni's problem is intelligence.
About communication services?
The communication. President Museveni believed anybody can handle information. Why? He was enjoying the support of the population. But as we are, we have a fierce succession battle pitting 2 members of the first family. That's why I'm saying that instead of going to Chankwas, it would be better for Museveni to organize a family meeting. Nti ono Kasoli. Nti Kasoli bannakenya be bamuganye ng'atya omwakuba munne. Yes, why? We call it akazo. Kasita omukazi atta abaana babajja be bonna n'asigalirawo abaana abalenzi babiri nabo betta Kayini n'Abeeri. Kakati akazo, yes. Kati the problem is pitting two people in the first family. Ate bajja kibatwalako. If they are not organized, anasikira Museveni tagenda kuva mu first family. Kuba bw'oba oyagala mukazi wo n'afa okuwasa mu family ya mukazi wo oyina okuba nga omukazi abadde akuwa emirembe. Okitegedde? Toyinza kugamba nti let us get another person as a president from Museveni's family nga Museveni's family bamaze ogyonoona. Kubanga abantu balijekitinga. Yes. Those who have succeeded their fathers, or you pick a person, the Suliangayo Mukodomi was kid, Musomia history. Sirabanga Mukodomi wa muntu wasikira Sezalawe. Sichirabangayo. It will be a miracle in Uganda. Kakati bano. When you look at Tuchita systems analysis, me I have survived poison 5 times. When you go to my home, it was Zana, Kubanze Sule or Amakaga, we were in Misambwe Jam. Waliwo mwana atanfaanana omwana gwe bazadde ku machana gwe bazadde nze njagala gye nsulayo naye nga obudde bwabwe nsulayo nayo yes naye nga amaanyi gonna gali luddawo kuba we nasookera naye waliwo abasirikale ba poliisi 10. Why? Amaka gange gonna gakuumibwa. Kati ono dereva wange tazze takoze eki naye ne bw'anaabanga emmotoka eyo bagitadde mu system nina ate ekijjo bijjamu byonna bye bakoze kuba ennaku ezi talabika n'emmotoka. Kati emmotoka bayinza okuba nga balina system gye bagiteekamu because my vehicle is under the surveillance of a satellite. Satellite. Kati gwe ne bw'oteekamu byonna na zino zendi kati ntambulira muzange nazeera ziri monitored is the same device. Toyinza kunzita. Kakati nze mbagamba ti once Abaganda bakugana n'Abanyankole balulina. Once a disease that blocks the nostrils of a dog causes its death. Lumuziba nnyindo. The nostrils of any government is the intelligence services. Government yonna kasa intelligence services zayo zibeera blocked ne zibeera captured by the mafias eba ewedde. Bwe baakuba ku 11 September bakuba Bush did not sack any of his intelligence chiefs. What he did, he created an inland intelligence. Why? America ferongo time balowoleza mu sente. Nogenda ku embassy ya America nobaga na dola emitwalo 5. Why? Abaana bano bajja kuvuga nnyonyi. Abaana baabwe nga basomera amasomero ga bbeeyi ne bawasa. There was no human being who could detect that these people had come to train in America bavuga ennyonyi. Era ennyonyi eyasooka bwe yakuba balowooza nti accident. Ennyonyi ey'okubiri bwe yajja nezoominga bweti. It was later found out ti abaana bo baali bayiga okuvuga ennyonyi baayiganga take off not landing. Era omusajja eyazimba Twin Towers yabagamba ti ennyonyi 3 tesobola gisuula. The first one they thought that it was an accident. The second one is but firefighters in years were trapped until Bush went for the first time in American history. Both the president and his vice president were kept in a bunker. ne bagamba no ennyonyi zonna zigende Canada gyetulaba mu bbanga tukuba nkube bazeekubira. Pentagoni nayo ne bagiyingira mu afaamu 6. Ennyindo tekyawunyiriza bali bayina okuva ku olwo abasajja bano bayiga. Americans lost their liberties. Bush was forced to create prisons in Eastern Europe because any terrorist who landed on American soil would enjoy American liberties.
Under the circumstances, President Museveni mwamagezi chinga intelligence network etagala kati captured.
Anti kakati bwe kibanga aliko regionalization nti akulu yehedwa intelligence. Akulu has yes. If Akulu is your daughter, but does it benefit the Acholis, the Rangis, to get in any performer? Make her an ambassador. Why do you believe until this is the high-ranking Rangi officer who cannot perform? Nza abantu abo sibawalana Nakalema nogenda okwata emisango gya Nakalema gyonna baakutte bonna babatadde kubanga Nakalema was being used to get rid of Byandala was acquitted nga mpandisa akatabo. Malinga simulabangako. I've never seen Malinga. He died. And these people don't ring me. I said Malinga is innocent. Nichiwandika mukataba abanyambi. Malinga did not ring me. And I hear some people can't collect money from them.
He died a crime man.
Naye was acquitted.
He wasn't happy.
Malinga wali wa Bank of Uganda. Nakalimani yebamba. That is extra money. Extra money polluted. Where was it? The extra luggage, one belonged to Mandela, another one belonged to Mbire. We never interviewed. Bani bano banasali bane bamuteeka wali bantu bonna Byandala bane bamuteeka wali anti nkugambye the luggages which was perceived to be extra money printed were identified at the airport, and these were identified. Now how can a chartered plane that is bringing money then divert to Britain to pick Mbire and one day Mbire and Mandela will be arraigned. I'm working for the I'm working for the yes. Yes, I'm working when the next president comes to me, I will tell him that I am an expert in 2 areas. Communication kakati nalabye mukwano gwange ofuno nga gamba nti Kadaga asisinkanye abayiza mikimane naye yatusubiza eddagala COVID afuno ofuno. You are my friend, I respect you ofuno. Kadaga took the Professor Nazir is only because this man has not brought my books and the vehicle is I wrote a book COVID Mafias. What Ofono has failed to understand, these people manufactured sanitizers, COVID, attends to 1%. They don't give him money. One would think Zenjagala Kolira Guangalino. Why? Nkolira Museveni nga muntu. Tokubira sunku. Bani nkwasumto. Banyo doneko. Beto kuba semu yange. I'm preserving myself for future deployment. Kakati Ofono yagambye ng'akuba Kadaga nti atuleetedde abayiza Miki Bank nti naye yayogera eddagala lya COVID. Yes, one at that time the medicine available was sanitizers. COVID baliyita batya n'oyo omusajja baga nti atunda magoola nti atunda ngano. Tulina omuvubuka waffe Hassan Kyakulaga ya ali mu America chemist akola ddagala mu America. N'aleeta Professor Naziru baali bamuganya okulaba Museveni ababbi Kadaga namukwata namutwale wa president.
Baganti abaleta ba investor abo nabo bali mu deal zibera business.
Waliwo hoteli ekalanga lumala kusasulayo dola emitwalo 10 kulaba mu 7 ekiro.
Ngaba flying in.
Kakati.
Jango mulaba.
What Ofono is a factory. Ofono, let Magola take you to Matuga. This factory that is going to manufacture drugs, because of Kataga's intervention to take Professor Nazir to the president, there is a complex at Matuga. Even the president went there to launch it. They first manufactured the Conavir. After Conavir, they have a complex, a drug factory that will produce for American market. Ofono yatwichize ne mutunulira. Me I respect Ofono. Of all the people, but never cover bani. Ofono bamubba. Ofono would have been an effective minister of information.
Lwaki tatukawa.
Ndisobola kola na naba. Nti oyina meeting mulimu bali omunsi. Mulimu naba ko mulimu obwanga. You invite me, I don't go. I'm above those people. I'm more senior. Ti oliese dombo. Ebyo nabimala.
Dombo litobulabawo.
A general cannot be a platoon commander. Sibiringira mu abo ba junior bank. Give me either no. Ono nanyini buyinza yali aloza mbwa jakojo. Sikinda yo. Ndio yise kusasira. Uyise full figure, uyise bano ntinange Mirundi ontekamu. What's the odd man out? Kusasira. Tamale Mirundi. Ani full figure. Butcher man.
Odd man out.
What's the odd man out? Na tabuku tuyinza kubindi. Then why did I go to Makerere to get a degree in political science? Sinza genda yo abo to bampita mu
abakujoze nnyo.
Yes. Tobiyinza ku ono omukulu yalowooza mbwa ajja konja oga kana Kasaija katabani kakajije nekakola buli kintu kyonna programu zambo ngende mba si nakusika bala nikajiji simubala namulaba kuwano nunu nenyini buyinza namulaba ko nga inenga to yalumwa. You see, I'm a very arrogant man because I come from a very rich family. Tonjogera mbya mwebi. Kakati nkugamba nti Ofono yagudda akataka. Ofono says because Kataga made nalabye Islam something mbokataga yalimba nedda Ofono. You have all the facilities. You go to Matuga and find a complex. The Conavir was one of, at that time, we didn't know how to prevent COVID-19.
Oh, now to our speakership.
Na ye, bebaso kokola gundi. Nga the only, even now, bimogera muchuwa ya mweriwa. Chuwa ya mweriwa jimwaro nchingira mbreze ni mumu ba. Kakati akitegeza Kataga still stands. Kataga at that time, it was sanitizers. This man had been frustrated by Diana. Nakona kukoza kwa ino mtu kulinga buloka. Akaino mutako. Conavir. And at that time, the only solution we had towards COVID-19 was sanitizers. Kataga, this man had been frustrated, and Kataga took the money to the president. The money was, I have written documents where ministry officials were informed that Dr. Nasir, an expert, kubaka kati abantu babuuza, is COVID-19 virus, Mafuguli, was a professor of chemistry. Kati bw'osoma viruses, a virus weakens as long as it touches more people. That was Mafuguli's argument. But this is not a virus. COVID-19 is not a virus. This virus, COVID-19, can strike you several times. Ekomawe virus tekomawo. A virus weakens. Kakati omusajja waffe mu Uganda gwe tulina ebweru ye kyakulaga. Hassan Kyagulaka is a Musoga man. Ye yasoma viruses. Era ye yaleeta oyo omusajja ne bakola factory Matuga. before you undermine Kadaga, that Kadaga was a liar, Opondo, get time and go to Matuga and see this complex. We have a factory. Before they manufacture the drugs for American markets, temutia mumuliba B. Ne factory ye kola gundi daga liweweza kusilimu elimu Uganda. Have you ever seen this woman, Mr. Harris, ngali nyeyo, quality chemicals? Have you ever seen Diana going there? Bwe chabwe, tebachikwata ku, baina kubba. Kakati Ufono, I will not fight you with Ufono, but your Ufono, you treated. Let me explain to you. Bamukozesa ate talina kyafunamu nyinza okukubiira akatambi ng'ofuna abaganti mumpaddeki. I'm living in the Ramusakoti house. I drink 2 bottles of beer a day. Ofono nange tetusobola kulwanagana. But Ofono, let Ofono, before you attack Kadaga over Islamic banking, get time, spare time, and go to Matuga, or you go to Onomusaje Gomari Buganti Mubiakole Ngano. He's not a poor man. Nkugamba nti Onomusaje Magola bamuvumanga nti is a conman. Magola akole ngano. Magola yakwatagana n'omusogono kyakulaga. Hassan kyakulaga in the United States is an expert on viruses. Kakati edwali factory gye Matuga, and even the president inspected it. It is for expert market. And these people don't package. This is what I'm telling you, that in the next government, I will help the president, an intelligence officer or a communication officer. The government did that. I'm young. The goodness in the politics is being young. Kakati eyonebem. Abantu bakimanyi. I hate you when you are arrogant. Omukyalo nayogerera amaje rangami. Nanga mwanyinaze.
Ngali mubuzibu ndaba byayogerera
onzitiraki. Nakagenda mu kifo. Njagala nkusinkana. These are people I want, not the Nankabirwas. When you wanted to intimidate me, I hit you harder. Kuba nabuulidde omukyalo ne mugamba te President Museveni agenda kulayira. Tulina ban, a news. Bwe Abamerika bakuteekako travel ban, every country fears you. But Museveni, nabagamba nti President Museveni is the most celebrated diplomat for Uganda. Tubadde naye nga bulimu yabikola. Kaka today, Museveni naye afunye problems. Ti abaana boomenye gavumenti ye. Tosobola kugamba nti mu Uganda mulimu abantu 32 who are facing charges in Serena via Zoom for extracting and selling human organs. Tosobola kikkiriza. Anti kyenkubuulira yabatadde ne kuteesa yabo bwazze n'entwe yabo nabadde mbulaba mu meeting nga botodde muyina gye mulaga niyo gye mulaga tanfuga kati katugende tulaba ono no 5 billion bwekyamubeera nazo dangolingi fanjo muzeete mbakube busajjamu muzeete mbakube tewali baayo kunsimuka buli ne muggulu siyogera namu sijja kwogera namu 5 billion president yazimpa ne bazikweka give it to charity. But dangling 5 billion. Is it the first billion that has ever handed into my gold? But you know, Bujozi Mutwe, no, you know, we use a Tana Matida, Wimpaka Kunamaviri, Jakula Bakongo, Tembe Yoni, one yoga, no, President Yalaga about 5 billion, Kodena factory, Kodenachi, Naziwamba, Nikodino, Sente Zangi, Naling Dakota campaign, Nakazere Gamu, a kind of Karingo Gosi. Kakati 5 billion, dangling 5. Muzete wange mbatireyo. bwe muba bakwata sente bazimbe. What are we buying? Ne bagala banzite ekiro ne mbabuulira nti muzeete mbattireyo. That 5 billion, if it belongs to me, put it on my account. No negotiations, no bargaining,
no meeting.
Siri basinkanako. Munsimu kabuli ne muggulu. Kakati nkugamba. When we come, because the noses of a dog have been killed. Omukyalo oyo namugambi sinzi ekyenkuwalanira n'amaka ekyengera omwami we kyasanku mumanyi newaabwe gye bamuzaala oyo omukyala mumanyi. I know her. Mukyala w'eggomba I know her. Naye namugambye nti bamafiya bajja kukozesa nnyo kubanga gwe byoyogera tebifaanana byakulayije, tebifaanana byakalemere. Gwe bakwetolera, that's how they do. Bajooga kakati kankubuulira. The president has invited his colleagues. Why? Because a presidential swearing ceremony is a summit. Mu Uganda tutaddemu PTA, mu Uganda tutaddemu East African Community, mu Uganda ne swearing ceremony. Swearing ceremony eringa bwolaba Abaganda bwe tubeera mu lumbe ani akulaamiriza. Tubulaba buno busajja bukulu bw'ebikoovu bulukanzu bujooga abantu. Mbakkiriza olombe mu lwabye ng'owejjonya bwinkuyola bwirukanzu nze mbamanyi, nze mukulu wange yabamanyi nti ogaana okwabya olumbe sikwetikka gwe nebba nenkufulumya ensiisi wajjanjaba ku mulwadde. When do you appear? Nze sikolera. I'm a Republican. I don't believe in culture, exploiting culture. If you want to exploit me, natula wansi njagala embuzi ennamu n'embuzi enfumbe naki n'emmotoka toyina mubazzukulu omusajja gwe omukulu w'ekika simanyi ow'essiga ow'olunyiriri ow'ettafaali ow'enkulukuku gwe toyina abaana bo bakugulira mmotoka noddira abantu abali mu lumbe mbamugulira emmotoka njagala ennyama embuzi njagala ennyama enkalu njagala ennyama nkubitikubwiti genda gasiyawo. Kakati nze I don't believe in any exploitative good. I'm a Republican by nature. Kakati nkugamba nti omukyala ono namugambye nti if Museveni we have a travel ban rolling under our neck, mwata aba UPDF, not the police, bwe muvaayo ne mugamba nti mu Kampala mulimu abategese okulemesa okulayira kwa president, you would say Ali Shahab. Naye bw'ogamba bano ab'ebipande ebiri mu Luganda abaana batudde Makerere ne babiwandiika. Kakati gwe ogenda kanga abantu ba pulezidenti bonna kubanga bapulezidenti bonna abajja wano buli embassy first secretary Mbega, they have to communicate. Nabagamba nti I was summoned to a Nigerian court to give evidence why their Minister of Foreign Affairs allowed good luck to come here. Ababesi bakuba emmotoka za president amayinja. Era we nategeera nti omukazi gwe bayitaani Akera agenda. Akero yajja n'aleetera Museveni akapapula ng'ayogera ekkololo. Let us change the luncheon from Entebbe to International Conference Center. Nategeera nti Akera agenze. That Museveni can change the luncheon. Had invited these people to go kubalugudo baluwambi. Nategeera nti onakula.
Intelligence erudda okufuna ebintu ebyo bipapula ebisubwa.
Anti President Museveni. Museveni tebamutegeera. Mu political science tulina abantu babika bina. Tulina a realist like me. Nti Museveni tasobola kukkiriza Besigye kumukyusiza venue. Museveni tasobola kukkiriza nti Bobi Wine bano beyawangudde nti beyawangudde bajja mukola ki nti kubanga omukazi omuwala gwobadde oyagala bamuwasiza ogenda otabangula embaga bakubira mu kidaala. I'm a realist. I can detect, predict anybody's reaction. Nti oya mukazi akero yagamba president tiveni ekiwuke. President Museveni somebody told me nti baagala kundaganga simanyi sipayi wa Rwanda nkasajja gwe mwebusajja mwe muwunya mwenjaba paka kabuli basajja mwenjaba kuba paka kabuli. No negotiations. If you have 5 billion, put it on my account. No negotiation. Tell meeting. Kakati nkugamba. Gondi President Museveni bamubuulira Besigye yali bweru nakola omukolo tilwakomawo mu Uganda nono lwalayira because Besigye was overestimating himself. Besigye harbors personal vendetta against Museveni. Kakati Besigye yali bweru n'agamba nti bamuleke bweru abantu beegogonge. Museveni was told I was not far from him, but Kenya Airways has refused to bring Museveni to bring Besigye to Entebbe. Why? Because of functions. Museveni said we fought for freedom. There is no Ugandan who should remain outside because of a function in Uganda. Let Kenyan Airways bring Besigye, check out and go home. Besigye violated Museveni's hospitality, goodwill. Yajjane Winnie balimira kubaita ababiri. They had hired thugs. When the president was invited to address a meeting of senior executives in Nairobi, this is when Besigye declared himself a blind man. Ero omukolo gwa Museveni gufe. Besigye carries personal vendetta against Museveni. Tugenda okutuuka ye Kenya nga bagamba Museveni kuyisa. Omanye ebigundi byebookya. Wafula had gone earlier ne bagula airtime. Museveni kwisha nabiraba ku TV. President when Museveni arrived in Nairobi n'agenda mu hotel, the same hotel where he had gone to reconcile the warring parties in Kenya. Museveni was the first one to go to Kenya when Kenya was burning, when everybody was watching. Museveni twagenda na mu cargo plane. Museveni nga alina okugulu kumu kuli mu ngatto ndala n'okugulu kumu kuli mu ngatto. To save Kenya from burning. President Museveni established a state house in the hotel I've forgotten. Kati taina minister no. I appointed myself Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I addressed a press conference in Nairobi. I addressed a press conference in Nairobi as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Nebakomawo wano. Nebantesako mu cabinet. Museveni abagamba leave him alone. They appointed an official spokesman nga banwanyisa. Kakati President namulabanga ali yekka. Our ministers must be pushed like wheelbarrows. We went to Sri Lanka. Nga aline muchala we signing a Dakano, and I don't know whether they are valid. We did not have a minister in Sri Lanka.
No signing it.
Era President Museveni yayingira ekimotoka baali bakolera abavubuka one of the projects. Museveni yayingira ekimotoka ekifu abavubuka bayola ebimotoka ebikadde ne babikolamu empya. E project bagirina nabuuza Kanana Sani yali gundi waffe yali nga ambassador waffe nemubuuza Museveni bamuwa project y'abavubuka. But because I was not accompanied by anybody, why? People in State House Nakalema yali ebyo tabitegeera yamanyi bya kantini kusumba chapati kani ani amanyi chapati yakulira mugundi mu kantini z'amagye anti kinkubuulira kati omuleeta abeere sekretale eyatundanga chapati sumbusa wamma eyerimu omunnyo oba terimu engano eweze kakati Museveni twabudde alone tewaliwo minisita mulala nga protocol zetusayininga zonna I don't know whether they were valid kakati president bamuteeka mu kimotoka ekifu I protested naye Museveni being what he is bakimuteekamu nakitambuliramu kakati nkugamba Sri Lanka kakati nkugamba nti what is happening now bwogamba abantu ti UPDF ekizudde tewaliwo abaagala okusabotaginga kakati what will be the reaction of UPDF they will deploy tukita reverse psychology.
Deploying means
when UPDF deploys heavily in the city omugole awasiza omukazi aliko emundu abate yamubbye tubakubireko mungalo but this young woman ranga me
ababye mubbe
yes
kitufu
the woman ranga me the spokesperson of UPDF and I said I don't know you but what I'm telling you why don't you consult me because I'm a media expert sijakola mu government pay me money a retainer yamwerise siridda mu government ya Museveni I can work in a city council toilet nesiridda mu bajozi bano obwana obujozi si nabukunia ku mutene bukunyalako kubanga wemba nkola mu city council toilet bwemba nina toilet paper n'amazzi apama yagenda afuka yagenda nebuno komukono akunyalako bano bonna ne bakunyalako a brain man like me Have a state house. Be a mawulire. Tumukoze sida mukola namu. Never in my life. Nswere mpuni. Bali ndebera kasekuka musansa.
Kinenenemu naye kakaliwe wao.
Yes, kakati nkugamba nti ofono tamanyi kyayogera.
Kadaga mulekeye.
Because Kadaga can take the journalist to Matuga. Kadaga's intervention helped us to get sanitation. When you say a chua, there was no chua at that time. The only chua at that time was sanitizers.
It was just a remedy.
Yes, Kadaga's intervention created the Conivero. Two, for future, Kadaga's intervention to take this man in Nazir, Professor Nazir, has helped us to get a factory in Matuga. If I want to embarrass Ofono, I just take a journalist to Baba Gula Tibaja Kubyogera. Kadenzi yankwata Kalolo Kulutu disappointed me because I had a lot of respect for Kalolo Kulutu. And what Kalolo Kulutu doesn't know, she has written books. The moment you write books, then you must maintain your books. Otherwise, they can be withdrawn from the books of syllabus. Kalolo Kulutu yagambi. To confirm one of the signs that Uganda is peaceful with the refugees, in 1979, at the liberation, many Ugandans from West Nile fled to Sudan, where was fierce fighting. Could the Kulutus of Sudan have said that Sudan is peaceful because Ugandans are running towards us? No. When Museveni took over in 1986, 500,000 Ugandans fled to southern Sudan, where there was a fierce fighting. What Kalolo Kulutu doesn't understand is that he's comparing southern Sudan to our country. Those who flee from Uganda, if you use the refugees, how many refugees are we having from Kenya now? In 2007, many Kenyans fled to Uganda, near the border. If you ask today, how many Rwandese are fleeing to Uganda now? Kagame closed the border. How many Tanzanian refugees do we have in Uganda at Mutukula? So if you use as a yardstick for refugees, you hit yourself. I wouldn't expect a woman. Yes. Are you comparing? Because a man can run from a burning house to a cannibal's house. A woman who is being battered by his wife, by her husband to death, can enter into a bachelor's is to save life now. Not what happens. Kakati unayo kurutu ya kubidua. Kakati netuja tusanga Pastor Senyonga. Pastor Senyonga akubaba pastor bane. Ne Pastor Senyonga. Of all of the pastors we have in Uganda, Pastor Senyonga was arrested for molesting a girl. We are told na yokunyonyi. Tewali pastor wa Uganda yali yakikoze. Alaba bisambi bya mwana natandiko bitigatiga.
Yandibadde asirikadda.
Pastor Senyonga does not have any moral authority to attack any pastor in Uganda. Pastor Senyonga was distributing relief ebifanagana nebya National Task Force. When the National Task Force closed, is he distributing relief? He must be arrested by stealing from the National Task Force. Lie, Pastor Senyonga, lie like an envelope. Don't provoke other pastors. You have moral questions, more than other. Senyonga is a man who wouldn't stand up. If we check your miracles, are they miracles? Ziriwa. Atubuliyeyo miracle mutu jino. Nakola yo. Nakonaivinga nabali abamu wemmere to chase me. In fact, he had directed the local defense man to shoot me. If Senyonga doesn't know, I can demolish Senyonga in a day. Senyonga, don't attack other pastors. You stink more. Bwabera ne president ine yeitowe ekitalo. Waliwo ba pastor abali awo, ba pastor abayina bebatta. You give evidence. Because Senyonga will be arrested for concealing evidence. If you know pastors who are killing people, report them. You are just being used like a kakandi. You see these people, once they use it, they drop you. Katibaga and they were Senyonga. Ngabalo was and Senyonga can Narinja Basenyonga Mut, Ninja Bakalisa, Katakalisa, Namute Stins, Nemukubiresim. Kalisa Naros and Jagarakudakuchi, Cosi in Jagarakumanyovesim Yekola. Kalisa, you never why you get. I will never come back to your station. Yet we don't know Siru. But a single went Nembu Bane, we ingira Nembu Bane, we ingira Nembu Bane. Mirundi. When Nkugambi, the government Yamuseveni city, Damojokotiram. I can work in a city council toilet, public toilet, because if I have a toilet paper and the water, where would the qual over? Nay, na kujoga, Omukona kujoga, Bonoboy kujoga, Toya person kujoga, Nakademana kujoga Yakola Makan, Naruso Nakujoga, Nani Nakujoga. Wait for good, Kakati in Kubudia Negamba. All of these ones have affected the government delivery. Nti umuliro gwebudo. Nabagambye. MISO has all the technologies. I will reserve this important information I have for the future government. All of those people are banning schools. All of those people are killing people for organs will be arrested.
Future government tujirinde mubanga chiwangamba walonti sengene nebache yetereza bili abili mwenenze kutasuka.
Andi nkubulire omukubali bagala obusika. Bamujimbi atagala.
Bili abili mwenawo.
Kagati nkubulire ne gamba.
Tuizo funa yawo government endala.
For me, what is important is not the banning of schools. You are talking about Buddo. I had children in Buddo, not this one. Bulange was gutted by fire. Amasiro were gutted by fire. Ministry of Finance headquarters gutted by fire.
There is fire everywhere.
Can Yakulu give us culprits? even suspect. She does not
have.
The government instituted a commission. The government instituted a commission of inquiry. Its report was never released. The leading counsel was Damiano Lubega. Akulu, Museveni's daughter Akulu, has never produced a single culprit. That's what I'm wondering. In his, because he is sitting there, yes, one of them will be a witness. I'm working for future government by gathering information. Most of these people who are committing these crimes will come back with them. Lumu died assassinated Lumu in 1978. In 1986, this government instituted an inquiry, a probe into human rights violations from 1962 to 86 when it came to power. Paulo Mwanga, when Paulo Mwanga was appearing before this probe, he exchanged bitter words with Nagenda. But Paulo Mwanga in his conclusion he said, if a similar probe is instituted against this government, it will come up with startling evidence. Who could expect that under Museveni's government, the president, when he came in 1986, he said, a needle could not disappear in our family. If a needle disappeared, we could turn mattresses. How can you put people in cupboards?
For 24 hours.
How can a person disappear?
24 hours.
But we see a minister of internal affairs who is a general exchanging, defiling on who are in custody, released, and who have disappeared. Are you making a balance sheet? A balance sheet credit and debit and credit? You are talking about human beings who have let Museveni down. Amin did not kill people for export. Obete did not kill people for export. We have certain people who are facing criminal charges on Zoom by the International Criminal Court for killing Ugandans and exporting their.
And they are here in Kampala. It is as if nothing is happening.
I've come up in political science. I've come up with two statements. Statements is Kirunda Chivejinya in his book. Kirunda Chivejinya in his book, The Crisis of No Confidence. He narrates how Chabazinga, Nadiope, helped Obote to consolidate himself. He even ferried non-legislative UPC delegates to Mbale to age out Kakonge to elect Kibenge. Obote, UPC people wanted Nadiope to be vice president. But Obote wanted to demolish Buganda Kingdom. That's why he ruined Mutesa to become. Era nabaganti oli ekitibwa kya Buganda kigamba asaanira afuge Uganda yonna naffe nga tumwesiga.
Uganda yonna
toyinza gamba asaanira afuge Buganda yonna no bakikyusa after humiliation. It was their urge, the ambition that their kabaka ulululu Mutesa yagamba nti nga naffe bwe tumwesiga. Museveni si asoose okuteekawo bakabaka. Mutesa yagamba nti if you relate federal to kabaka, let all of those areas create kabakas. It was Mutesa's suggestion. Kakati kugamba nti Obote abantu bonna ba UPC baali balinze Nadiope okubeera president wa Uganda. Obote n'alangirira erinnya lya Mutesa Nechon, when you go to the records, Nechon stood up and protested, said, I cannot elect this man. He was fighting Uganda's independence. Now that...
Who was fighting Uganda's
independence? Now that you have brought one name, I will not vote. Baganda did not know. How could Nechon, a brother to Obote, reject it, said, I'm going to abstain. Bwamala okulonda Obote na Diope yagenda Obote namukwata ebitoki. You promised me the vice president, where is it? The president, where is it? Obote under pressure, amubimbye jovu. Obote created the post of vice president. Tuna Diope. Na Diope yakwata Obote ebitoki mu nabimbye Obote jovu na Diope. Umusoka ngabo abasoka tibalakadeta abo bakadaga umusoka na Diope yakwata Obote ebitoki mu parliament namuga ekifo kyange okigabi nale ko Obote ni bamubimbye ejovu yali amutirawo
nachi creatinga
namuga I've given you the post of the vice president. Naye Kirunda Kibenge in his book, he says, Obote arrested Diope with the other ministers. And I said, I write in one of my books, that the only Secretary General who has not tried to usurp the powers or to undermine Museveni is Lumumba and Kirunda Kibenge and Rudisa Kirunda. Obote fought to Kakonge and replaced him with Grace Ibingira. Ibingira connived with the Mengo people in 1966 to take a power. Obote, when he sacked Grace Ibingira, appointed Felix Onama. Felix Onama connived with Idi Amin to overthrow Obote. Rwodisa Kirunda became the Secretary General of UPC. Rwodisa Kirunda never connived with Mwanga to overthrow Obote. Museveni brought Mbabas. Mbabas almost took him, almost grabbed his power. The only Secretary Generals who have not tried to usurp, to undermine their bosses.
Should we assume that she's weak?
Lumumba.
Should we assume that she's weak?
We don't have a president's ambitions. Because in the communist countries, a Secretary General runs the Secretariat.
Is that administration?
Nene Lumumba bamukuba necho chikazi yatuba chikuba.
Is that administration?
Obwale di paper bwakuba. Lumumba zebadega siniki sintu nkubane nkutirawo. Bane nkwasa omuntu. To destroy my marriage. Kati bagenje ne bajinga ekifaananyi nga ndi nono omukazi bamuyitani. Gundi. Mukazi watu bamuyitani. Gundi.
Kati abawayiza bwayiza kama nyinya bulele mutwe.
Yes.
Why it is akonna?
Mukazi oyo bagamba omukyayina ayagala obwa Gundi. Ayagala obwa deputy speaker. She comes from Teso. Omukazi oyo kagati twali tuva wa Kiboole nga era tenti oziraba ne nyumba ogiraba nenyimirira omubozaako bankubye nga mukutte bwente. My marriage is in twabo, her marriage is in twabo.
Nawe wowiza okutagala. Bana toli musajja wawe tosagirwako.
Ono mukama na Obote bamuyitani.
Ono mukyala yadindude mutwe.
Amongi.
Amongi.
Kati oli omukyala bamuyita Amongi.
Ate
Amongi ensobi gye yakoze. That is my brother. Awo baba kuddemu. Baba kuwambye. Nze bonna kakati nkubuulize. Kadaga came and visited me when I was sick. Nankabira oyo twawukanye luvannyuma. Nagenda mu America, ka president atutumyeyo ne nankabirwa ne Kateregga gwe twali tugenda naye nabba ssente zaffe
kuwa musazi.
Nankabirwa yampa $10,000 to survive. Nali nzimutwalira n'agaana ozikkiriza. Saamulabye jjo. Gundi Musumba came to me to visit my mother. Lumumba brought a blanket to my mother. Kankunda helped my mother to survive. Yes. Kakati nze emikisa gyange gyonna ngiina mu bakazi saalisomye naye muganda wange nze bwe mba nkubulidde mirakozi zange tibana abaana tebansobola. The wife of my elder brother Sally yansomesaako mu 75 yali azze nga mina etaddewo literacy campaign tusomesa abaana ng'enikalagwa bino Museveni byakola amini yabitandika tweduke obote n'ateekawo community centers abakadde babasomesa. Maama wa Kaseke Ndeba n'ababbanka yajjanga ewaffe mu kyalo okusomesa abakadde nga my mother ubatuukirako was very influential woman. Kakati omukyalo oyo laba bwagenda e Nairobi gye basomeranga secretariat n'asangayo brother wange ne bafumbirigano. Kakati brother wange amuleeta ewaka akole ki amulabe ewaka bamulabe. Nze nali nfunye marks 200 mwaka first grade yali ku 210 to tell you how intelligent I was musomero lya mukyalo ningina kola amagende Tanzania. Kakati omukyala bwajja ewaka ne bamugamba nti sezala bamuyita Mirundi bamwanjulira abapalensi n'agamba naye waliwo omwana gwe nasomesaako nga bamuyita Mirundi ava wano ti aliwa. Nze I'm a very humble man when it comes to women. I respect them. They're like my mothers. Kakati yava bagamba nga ndi mu magendo Tanzania n'agamba mukulu wange muganda woyo mugezi nnyo mujje mu magendo asome. I was educated because of my kale amusazeewa jjajjange yawasa ku kyalo azaala kitange Sembuya mu 1918 nafa mu 1923 nensanga omuwala mu Kampala ne muwasa ngava mu family eyo era abaana bange bano babadde bakwakudde kabala kange kana akatakadda kono junior tebiba byuma byange babadde bakatuta. Kakati nkugamba nze mbaga
njala tumalize n'ensonga ne mwami Mirundi kubanga tuyinza okubanga wadde mutuweddeko wa cabinet njala nkubireko ko manyi okola nnyo projections manya nkubireko bigambo nga bisatu bina mu cabinet edda.
Let me tell you
nawuliddeko nti kyeka mukwano gwaffe Nobert Mao ali ku lubalaza Museveni is reducing his cabinet to 21 and he must prepare for the consequences. Opposition yinza kuyingira.
Why? Because a reshuffle affects 4 people: a hopeful, the one you have dropped, the one who has been transferred from a lucrative ministry to another. Bagenda bayomba. Museveni should prepare, should have mitigative measures for this. He's also merging parastatals. Kakati Museveni ayina omukisa Katonda yagumuwa. Tulina a case eya organize. If Museveni appoints any minister who is facing charges of human trafficking, then he will be supporting Ntina Bikola.
Bayo bana ku kifo ky'obwa vice president.
Ekyokubiri, Museveni, this is his lab. He must have service delivery. Bwe kibanga gundi ono omukyala abadde mu energy yagamba mbu njagala gundi mulwanyisa kuba njagala maama kafi. Naye kakati nina mugongo kyogwo oguli kwono nkubuulidde no nze nkubuulira bagenda okuvaamu. Yefu Museveni appoints Kitutu, Yefu Museveni appoints ono mukazi wa Ministry ya Health, Yefu Museveni returns Kasaija and Bahati. Kubanga Kasaija and Bahati cannot go to the World Bank. Kasaija and Bahati n'amanyaga ku World Bank wegali wanted. Kasa Museveni yakomyawo Bahati n'akomyawo Kasaija n'akomyawo Kitutu n'akomyawo Achange Musemu Ministry n'akwata kubanga these are the areas education tayinza gikwatako. Why? If Museveni makes changes in education ajja kuba embarasinze facility kakati kyayina okukola mu education kyayina okukola is to find out Kibenge ayina munne sikakooza Kibenge ayina munne muzeeyi omuntu ayonoonye ministry si first lady Kibenge olunaku lumu Kibenge kakati information ministry of information n'abakoba tagisobola I've heard tinabakoba bagenda mu for executive director we Masaka buli site yonna gye bakolawo akakawunye nnyo akalinzi akakawunye nnyo President Museveni family ye abajononye bali abo akakawunye nnyo nakana kayina obutubu kajakala bebononye bwabatabo kutte naleeta kana kayina entwe naleeta kayina entwe lingalo ofuye omugati those who are being implicated abadde foreign affairs naye onkulu nnyo Museveni ayina okukyusa mu foreign affairs goodness Honorable Kotesa wants to retire oyo ajja kubeera obwati kasasita wange ayingidde naye foreign affairs kasita Museveni akomyawo bahati noyo Kasaija mu World Bank waliwo ekipande mu World Bank Kasaija and Bahati wanted Kasaija and Bahati wanted heresy akazi kalina ogivaamu education oyo muvuka yakolagana nono munne okulya sente za education sikakooza Kibenge is very dangerous in education Kibenge
Program omukulembeze w'enkiwagiddwa KDB kyalenga tonto kati ali ku mutindo gwa Siona taleta hangover ateke kalika tonto akafa akedda abasuubuzi mutusange kiwatule oba ku 0752 571 ne 0782 89 kyalenga ali mu maduuka ne supermarket ne mabala wonna